This is Reverend Bill, and today is 6:18 at 2:29 a.m. And I'm just hanging here, just kind of thinking about the world around us. So many things have been going on recently. I just kind of felt I don't really have anything that I kind of jotted down like I usually take notes if I'm seeing a movie or something. But I don't really think I had to. I kind of just wanted to talk about a couple of things going on. I kind of just think it's time that we kind of just stop and put things in perspective because honestly, I'm getting a little concerned. The latest I heard in the world was that, basically Iran has one facility left. That's nuclear. And they're not giving in so far from what I understand. And that's bad. As far as I'm concerned, to be completely honest, I consider Iran is like in line with the devil, to be completely honest with you. I think that what Trump and Israel is doing is correct. They can have nuclear weapons. So with that said, they've got one left. And because of the placement, I guess in the mountain or where it is very deep in there. There's only one bomb that's non-nuclear that's capable of getting in there. And that there's one bomb, and it's with us. And we can't just give it to them, apparently, because Israel does not have the capability to fly it. So that means that if we are to give it to them, we are probably going to have to fly it to them. And if we are to fly it to them, does that mean we're going to drop it on them? And that would certainly, I'll leave it to be, give it to the more involved. So I don't know. And then if we do that, does that mean World War III? Russia's is allied with Iran. I don't know. And then China. But then if we don't do it, then we got Iran with nuclear capabilities. And let's talk about Russia. And let's talk about the Ukraine. Not to mention the stuff's going on at home. Not good. We're getting all these riots, which are serious riots, and they are being sponsored. I guess they found out today that the riots are being sponsored by the CCP, and we already know that Soros is sponsoring them. So they're tearing us up from internally, and we're getting global strife. I don't know. And at home, things aren't really great either. Let's not talk about the prices. I mean, seriously, it's hardly even worth talking about, but let's talk about it. Because I'm baffled how people afford things. I told you that I came from Brockton, which at the time was just a lower middle class town. Now it's basically a slum. But there's one ad I saw today, because I used to dabble in properties, and I like to keep ahead of trying to find out where things go, my old stomping grounds. And basically it's pretty run down right now. To get a 1-bedroom apartment, and it looks nice for the photographs, but if you get a nice apartment and you put it in a dumpster, it's still a dumpster. 1-bedroom apartment, $1,900. Now, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to pay $1,900. I'll do you one better. $1,900, and I could afford it, but I wouldn't want to afford that. I mean, seriously, $1,900. Geez, but yeah. How do they do it in Brockton? I mean, these are people that work at McDonald's, if they work at all. So, I mean, how is that even possible? Anyway, so let's get back to what I was talking about. We're kind of getting off here. What I'm trying to tell you is the world is really crazy. Now, get back to what my original point was. Let's talk about the end of times, because I don't know. I'm sure a lot of you know the end of times. They talk about it in school. But I mean, but we're all Christians, and we're all different denominations. We should all be okay. We're not all Christians. Just pretend. But I mean, I don't think we all have an idea what the end of the world is. But let's just go over it, because different denominations have different ideas, and it's all pretty much the same thing. I mean, with different subtle, I guess, changes, but it's all the same idea. But just to refresh, it's just different. The world actually does not and blow up or anything. Okay, actually, the world ends not because the world ends. Okay, the world ends because, unfortunately, I guess fortunately, but this is not our world. Okay, this is the devil's world. This is Satan's world. And the end of times is really when, for the most part, the world goes to hell. Not literally, but it just is all corrupted and miserable, and sin takes over. Essentially, sin wins. I don't know if you realize that or not, but I'm here scrambling, trying to get souls and help people lead the good life. And I guess the bottom line is I lose. All of us lose. I mean, we all live the best life that we can, a good life, but at the end of it, we lose. And at that time is when the Lord comes down with flaming eyes and a chariot, etc. You can read all that stuff in the Bible. You don't need me to go over all that, and I certainly don't remember it all. I remember the gist. And he comes down, and it's called the rapture. You're probably familiar with that term. And he gets all the good people that have lived good lives. So hypothetically, if it was now, the Lord would come down and he'd take all of us, because we're all good people, right? And we all belong to the Lord, of course. And he would take it and he'd bring us all up with him. And the bad people would remain here to rot with Satan and all his evilness on the earth, and all the good people would be taken up to heaven. And that would begin the reign of 1,000 years. Now we would go up to heaven, and 1,000 years would be trained. And the Lord would train us in the ways of him, and we would learn to think like the Lord, and be knowledgeable like the Lord. And he would spend 1,000 years training us, while the Satan, different things on what actually happens on the earth below is, again, different things happen, but they're down there. I don't want to get into different ideas of what happens down there. But the thing is, the good people are the Lord being trained and in paradise, and the people down there are suffering. Anyway, after 1,000 years is when the day of judgment comes, and I like the version where we sit with the Lord in judgment, and we help judge the Lord, which trains us to help the judge and gives us the knowledge and wisdom, etc. Anyway, after the end of the of all that, the judgment, then of course the Lord creates a new heaven and a new earth, and gives new bodies, and then that's the end of the old earth, and blah blah blah. We live in forever with the Lord. That's pretty much how it goes. And want more, details? So certainly you can read the Bible. It should be plenty around. But essentially, what I'm saying is, the end of the world is supposed to come when all craziness and chaos takes over. Okay? I'm not saying that it's now. It could be now. I have no idea. But it just it's a good, when things like this happen. It's never a bad idea to step back and go, hey, guys, things are really crazy here. Because it does say, and it really does say in the Bible, when things start getting really bananas. This is just word bananas. That's my phraseology. But no, when things get really nutty is when you really need to get your things in order. And I don't think this is time. It might, but I mean, hey, it could be 100 years from now. Maybe just be the start. But when but honestly, you look back and you just see, maybe this could be it. And another thing too, I want to throw out there that bothers me is, I've been reading a lot lately. A lot of free time I have, listening to scholars about religion, and there's so many men who actually spend so much of their time, memorizing and arguing points and this and that. Well, I don't know if you read Isaiah 26 verse 9 8, you'll see it completely. And that's great. And I really I'm really glad that they get into it. But don't let them intimidate you. The religion's not that complicated. If they really want to get into that, what I consider that. I consider that people that get into metrics and sports. If they want to talk about you know how this left-handed pitcher plays on rainy days in dome stadiums with the lights on, that's fine. But I just want the baseball game. Religion, it's very simple, really. It really is. When my children used to come to me when they were church, do kitties and doggies go to heaven? And I really don't know. I say yes to them. And why I say is I don't think I was lying to them. It's like I really don't know, and I don't feel like sitting down and trying to go through scripture to finding out, because the truth is, and it is in the Bible somewhere, I don't know offhand, but there is some passage, by the way, where they do address something like that, and the answer comes in that fact that says, "Trust in Jesus, He loves," something like that. It was basically, don't worry about it, just trust in Jesus, and and I read that when I was a few years ago, and that's pretty much what I hang my hat on. Do cows and moo cows and buffaloes go to heaven? I don't know, but I'm sure that whatever Jesus is doing to the cows and the doggies it's good. The good Lord is making sure He takes care of them. I'm sure He's not torturing them, and that's really what it is. You get born, you lead a good life, you raise children, um, you praise the Lord, you don't do anything bad, um, and you live a good life. You laugh, you joke, you enjoy. You do a little bit of fishing, and then you go to the Lord. I don't understand why people think it's so difficult to live a good life and just do it. Just don't throw rocks and beer bottles at people, and don't throw Molotov cocktails and riot in LA. And I think you should be okay. But anyway, that's just me. I just wanted to give a few minutes here, um, because I'm a man of God, and I just want everyone to just realize that no matter how bad things get, um, this is just a temporary place, and that I really do know that, by the way. So don't let it get you down, and remember. It's all temporary. Hang in there, and please like, share, and subscribe if you like this. Please get the word out there. Have a great weekend. Bye. A week. Bye.